There'll be 20 or 30 variations.
Today we've got Hugh Dellar here visiting UCLan as a guest speaker, talking about different approaches to teaching and learning in the classroom. The event's been organised today primarily because we've got such a vibrant TESOL community here at UCLan. So we have a wide spread of undergraduate students, MA students and also PhD research students. So it was a great opportunity to get that whole cross-section together today and share experiences and good teaching practices. We've also had the opportunity to invite some external guests, employers from the Northwest region, so that's a great opportunity for our students to network at the same time.
Thinking about how language interacts, thinking about how words interact with other words, how words interact with grammar, how grammar interact with vocabulary, how grammar structures interact with other grammar structures, and how all of that can be given to students in a way that helps them to communicate better and helps them to actually use their language. When we use language, its actual natural usage is mysterious and inexplicable by traditional grammar rules. And that if what you're doing is still presenting grammar rules and vocabulary, you're making life harder for students because you're asking them to perform a kind of alchemy every time they have to produce something relatively natural sounding. And B, you're just misrepresenting the way language works. You're limiting their communicative range. If you learn things like, have you ever been to, yes I have, no I haven't, it's not actually what you do with the language. Have you ever been to Spain? Yes I have. Well, that's fascinating talking to you, thank you very much. You've been a wonderful conversationalist. It makes life harder, and because what that kind of way of thinking about teaching isn't doing is showing things like, yeah, 3 or 4 times. No, never, but it's supposed to be great. No, never, but I've heard it's wonderful. No, never, but I'm thinking of going there this summer, where you're looking at the way all those structures interact to help you have a conversation about have you ever been to things. It's a different way of thinking about classroom input and classroom procedure.
It's a very good experience to hear a lot of different input about different styles of language teaching, and I think it'll help me define who I am as a teacher in the future.
Learning some things about chunks, or the way we're supposed to be using language in class, I think it's really beneficial.
How to actually give students the input in terms of lexical approach, and how to teach them different lexical chunks rather than teaching them the grammar rules.
I think I might take it away and just sort of attach it to my next lesson, just to see how it works in the classroom, because we can see these examples sort of here and there of the experiences he's had. But I'd like to, if I put it in my context, I could see how I could use it.
I've always been interested in the lexical approach, and I believe that by hearing about the lexical approach firsthand, it gives me more information about teaching lexically as opposed to more traditional teaching methods.
Every teacher out there needs to attend such seminars in order, because they obviously get to learn more things from the people who already got some experience.
It's very refreshing in terms of knowledge based, and it's actually practical workshop as well. So you can actually get the opportunity to meet new people actually in a practical field and getting ideas from them.
There's sort of ways of teaching that you sort of get used to, and you think, okay, I'm very comfortable with this, so I'll teach in this style. But if you don't push your own boundary, then you're actually not going to get better as a teacher. You're just going to be stuck within your own paradigm. So I think if you learn newer paradigms, then you actually get more of an open world view of teaching.
I think today's been really successful. Again, we've had our students kind of bonding together, sharing experiences, which was the main aim of today's session, and hopefully to get them to think about challenging their ideas about what teaching and learning is, and hopefully coming away from today's session with a slightly different approach perhaps to teaching and learning in their classrooms.